Hey guys, it's Jake from Wani, and I am here with Antti Kokko from Kalmah. Antti, how you going, man?
I'm doing fine. Actually, I'm in Finnish Lapland hunting willow grouse at the moment.
Oh,
So I'm
wonderful,
on hunting holiday.
wonderful, wonderful. And
Here.
is it nice and cold up
Well,
there for you at the moment?
cold? No, it's starting to get springtime. There's snow over one meter, but the sun is already shining, and the roads are getting clear and so on. So summer is coming.
Yeah, good, good. And what is also coming is your new album, Palo, which is out next week, actually. So, how good is it, and how does it feel to be unleashing another album upon the world after a 5-year absence?
Yeah, we had some three of the guys moved to Helsinki area, and me and my brother still live in North Finland. So practically the rehearsing is impossible. And then there was house building projects and so on. So it just took 5 years. And a year or two ago, we decided to give it a little push. So now we are here with the new album, and it feels great. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds great. And I mean, I know you guys have mentioned it with the announcement of the album, but you sort of had a look back into some of the earlier ideas and concepts that had been written 20 to 30 years ago for Kalmah, and has sort of taken some of those and used them for some of these songs. So what was it that triggered, like, looking back into the past to uncover those ideas?
Yeah, we have done that for pretty much every albums. So in the 90s we had a different name. It was Ancestor, and we did 5 or 6 demos and couldn't get the recording deal. So now we are reusing those riffs and melodies and stuff. So kind of show to people that we could have made it in the beginning of the 90s as well. So well, good ideas. Why not to use them again? So
Yeah, yeah, and it's
but now we have run off the demos. So next album will be brand new.
yeah, yeah, and it's the sound, or like on this album, it's sort of a really good old meets new, because you can definitely hear some of the influences from the earlier albums, like really sort of shining through. Like there's a lot of great melodies in that on the album, but it still feels very new, very Kalmah for 2018.
Yeah, that's true. I had for a couple of songs I had the same kind of vibes when I did the Hates 20 years ago. So I was kind of spirit was high. So, and then there's the kind of a modern. I don't know. Can I say modern? But the Kalmah as it is today. So there's always I trust the inspiration every time, and I trust it, and it gives me something new, something old, and if it sounds good, then it's good for Kalmah.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a good thing, to trust in that inspiration. So, as I did mention, the album does have a very sort of classical Kalmah feel to it. I sort of feel like it has more of a classical feel than Seventh Swamphony, which was the last album that was released, because I feel that you guys may have tried to experiment a little bit more on the sound and sort of push it into that faster and more thrashier edge on Swamphony, particularly for a few tracks there. But
yeah, it's we kind of thought when we started to record the album that we want to do it in old-fashioned way, just simple amplifiers and a couple of pedals and maybe some sound from the 90s, and then just record it and use the same mixing guide that did the first album. So, and the same studio, we had the same studio as always, and well, it was kind of a deep bow to the roots of our music.
Yeah, yeah, and look, that's a very good place to be as a band, because it's actually good that you brought up the studio, because that was one of the questions that I was going to ask shortly. But
Yeah.
you guys have recorded all of your albums through Tico Tico Studios, so I know that a lot of bands do like to experiment and find different recording locations that might bring something new to the mix. But you guys have been pretty happy returning to the same location for each record.
Yeah, that's well, it's good for us. But this time the drums were recorded at Helsinki, and the bass as well. So basically, keyboards and guitars and vocals and all that we did at Tico Tico. Previously, we have done everything at Tico Tico Studios, so it was a bit different from that, but. The place is near us, and it's good. It has good location, and the sound engineer there is. We are friends, good friends. So it's always fun to work there. So it's always an easy choice to go to Tico Tico.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The two tracks that have been released are some of the. I think there's some of the better songs on the album. Not saying that there are any bad songs on the album, but I think that they're two of the stronger songs, so I think they were really good choices to sort of throw out to the fans.
Yeah, I think there was no particular reason for those songs to pick up first, but maybe the Evil Kin, it has the old riff from the beginning of 90s, so, and it's kind of a mix of as we are today, so it was a good choice for the first one, and then the second one is kind of I feel a strong Swamp Lord vibe in there, so it's the good old Kalmah song. So, but the rest of the songs there's different kind of songs. A couple of maybe one or two songs we haven't done that kind of style before, so there's some interesting new elements as well.
Yeah, definitely. So the album obviously has a ton of melody, particularly coming through yourself and Pekka's guitar playing, and also the keyboard as well. So is it tricky to try and balance the carefully crafted melodies that Kalmah has become popular for against the quick and aggressive nature that Kalmah's music has become known for? So you mentioned before stuff from Hades being an influence, and then it's still very fast and heavy, but it's very melodic in a sense. But then you come to some of the later albums, and that speed has sort of become a bit quicker. Do you feel like Paulo has struck a delicate balance between the two?
Well, I don't think there's any special recipe or something. I pretty much feel that we have done fast and aggressive stuff from the beginning as well. So if I think the tempos, every album has same kind of tempo songs, and I don't know, the melodies are usually I figure out the melodies first, but on the other hand, there are songs that riff comes first. So
yep.
I don't know. It's the way the music sounds in my head. So
yeah, and that's a pretty valid answer as well. Is that sometimes there is no method to the madness. It just creates itself. Yeah. So I've got this one's a little bit of an interesting question here, but where do you feel like this record sits in relation to the rest of the Kalmah discography? So I know that most artists are always really happy about what they're releasing, and they're saying this is our best music yet, but how high up the list would you put Paulo if you're forced to put your own albums in order?
Yeah, usually when you're releasing a new album, you always put it first. But I think for me it's well, I haven't listened to it for a couple of months. I had enough of it when we were mixing and mastering it, so I think I should listen to it with a fresh ear. But for me, it's a very strong album. I think it goes to the top 3, as that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think at the end, the time will show that how high is it going to be, because usually if it can last time, the music can last. So then that's a good good that's good. If I like the album 1 year from this day, I think it's very strong.
Yeah, nice. So, last question that I've got for you, Antti, but what are your touring plans in support of Paulo? I mean, you guys have historically been pretty quiet on the touring front until your albums are launched, but do you have plans to take Paulo to some summer festivals later this year or even next year, or maybe even a return trip to Canada or North America or Asia, or is there any other locations that you would like to tour?
Yeah, of course. We have got offers from Australia, for example, and then we have never played in the US, and I think there's some plans, but nothing for sure. We haven't got as good offers as we want, so in the future we have the Finnish gigs coming up, and then we have some kind of negotiation to Asia, Japan, China.
Yep.
But that's not sure either. So I don't know. We would be happy to be in new places, of course. And hopefully Palo will get us there.
Yeah. Well, it's a very strong album. So hopefully it does help get you guys to some of the places that you haven't been yet and that you want to get to. So
yeah.
Antti, that's all we had. So thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the hunting.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And Paulo comes out next week, and we look forward to getting it in our hands when it comes out and checking it out.
Yeah, cool.